Hello friends, today's video topic is about finding text dependency in data analytics platform. So this is an interview question. It's a very interesting interview question. So most like sometimes like in your interview, interviewer want to understand like, okay, how you have like good understanding about the platform. It's not about the SQL or Power BI or ETLs. It's about like overall platform. So the question goes like, as an example, in your platform, let's say there is a column name, say name. It's basically a store table having column as a name for store name. And what you have to find out, like, okay, in whole platform, wherever you have used this column as a name, you will rename it as a store name, not as a name. Okay, so from name to store name. So this is a question. So basically it's about like finding the dependency of this column in across platform. So how to do it? Okay, so let's say, and as example, I have this database, AdventureWorks 2022, and I have this table, sales table, as in you can see this column name is name. What the requirement is, wherever we have used this name, we'll rename it as any store name, or this is just an example, it could be anything. Okay, so as you can see, you have hundreds of tables, and in sometimes like in thousands of table and thousands of procedures and views and functions, right? So it is very difficult if you will like open each and proc and then try to just look into each and every proc one by one. It is going to be very difficult, right? And same way like views and functions, and when you have thousands of, so there must be a shortcut. So how to find a text dependency in a cross platform, that's the question. Okay, so how you can find it. Okay, whenever someone asks you this type of question across platform, you have to find of some dependency, some text, some table. It means they are talking about the system tables. Okay, so in SQL, this is Microsoft SQL. So in Microsoft SQL, we have a system table which called sys.comments. If you just see the structure of this table, right, this table gives all the objects which are like function views, triggers, and procedures. We have all the definition in the form of text here. Okay, in this table you can see this text part. This is like the definition of these procedure functions and all these object. And as you know that in database all the objects having an ID, so you can see find ID and you can find the their text, I mean as a definition. Now, so our requirement is that we have to find out, okay, in all the procs and views and function where the name is being used. So let's say we'll try finding this name text in this text column. So you see I just did a filter where text like name, use this name wildcard, and these are all 31 views where we have name came some form. Okay, if you see the definition of this one and just see name control F, and you will see this. Okay, we have namespace, so it's not exactly name, it is namespace and then name dot last. What we have to find out is all the places where the table is stored and then column is name. Okay, it is not just name. So I will put in one more filter, we'll say text like, and let's say store as well. Okay, now find out. Okay, so these are objects where you will find name and store, both string. So copy paste one and just see here. I think we got it here. If you see name, we have first name, middle name, this name, but I'm interested in the name of first to check if there is a store. Okay, so yeah, we have c dot store. You can see this c dot, and then I can check where if we have related to anything c dot store ID. Okay, so from here we found c dot person ID, not name, but we have store here, and names came from the other table, not from the store table, right? But we can so now we have filtered down to only 6 objects. So one by one we will open the definition of all 6 and we will check that, okay, if we have column name as a name and as well as the table name as in store, right, like this. So it's very easy to find out, like, okay, if you want to find out just one string, let's say you want to find out a string, say city, okay, in all the objects. So if you run it, these are the objects, these all are view where you use city as in text somewhere. Okay, so yes, that's how we find the dependency. But then what is the requirement is you have to find out the object name and schema as well. Here we have object ID only. So how to find object name from object? It's a simple function, like object name, and you will pass ID here, ID from this table. This will give you the name. Okay, so these are the name where you have these two. Okay, if you find out, let's say only for city, then these are the 9 objects where you have, these are the object name. Okay, now the requirement is schema as well. So we know that we have join table sys.schema, but before schema we'll sys.objects. We'll bring this where down there, and let's give this table name a objects as b on a dot id is equal to b dot object id. Why object id? Because object table have the schema, okay, or schema id. Now we can join a table, say join sys dot schema, and you can find out all these tables, see, and we can join now b dot schema id is equal to c dot schema id, and we can take just a name column, so c dot name as schema name. Or if you want full name, then you can just simply do concat c dot schema name, no, sorry, c dot name, and then you want a dot, and then you want this object name and id. This will give you full object name. Okay, now run it. You see, these are your object name, full object name. Object name, full object name means schema plus object name. So this is your answer. Okay, same way if you want to find out, okay, how many tables is having column as a city, then we have another table, just for example sys dot all columns, where name like, so city. So how many tables we have column name as a city, right? This will give you all the columns. Same way, now you got object ID, you will join, you can join it using object table to find out the name, and then you can join with the schema ID to get the schema, and then that's how you can find, okay, all the table having this column name city. So let's say city, you want to rename city as a city name, right? Then you know that, okay, how many table you have this column and you want to rename it. That's how we find the dependency. Okay, so it's very important. It use, I mean, once in a while we get these requirement in a platform where you have to change like across platform, so that it, so if you are like having thousands of table and objects and you are going to do it manually, it will take days. But with this way, like in 30 minutes you can just rename everything or whatever value you want to change in proc or views. Okay, so this was the video. If you like it, please like my video, subscribe my channel. Thank you.